Hi, Tammy Rowland here, creator of the Work Smart, Earn More system. Welcome back to the third in the series that is to help you really move forward and to build your business. Everything that I do is about working smart and earning more, which allows you to truly develop your business in a really simplified way and get the maximum out of it. What I'd like to talk with you today is about our 10 tips, but just to verify some of the previous information that you've had, I hope you're starting to work with them a little bit. Work with the productivity planner, which keeps you every day on focus and on task of what it is that you're trying to accomplish, or what your goal is to accomplish, and the Roland Donoso productivity cycle. And all of them working together will make a huge impact. And I'm interested to know what exactly it is that you've been using or implementing into your business. So please feel free to jot it in the comments below. I'd be delighted to hear about it, and I'd like to have conversation with you. That'd be great. We're going to start off with the first tip, and I've taken some time to really hone it down. I came up with 10 tips to deal with you today, but believe me, there's probably 110 tips that I have just off the top of my tongue. And I'm sure as you would have in your respective businesses as well. But we'll start off with the first one, which is to take the first 30 minutes of every day to make that plan. Those tools that I've given you will certainly help you, but you want to know what it is that you want to achieve that day. If you're not taking the time to figure it out, you're going to find yourself kind of like a pinball from a pinball machine, kind of bouncing from here to there, going from task to task, never really accomplishing anything, or you'll choose the lesser tasks, which we've talked about in the past. It's about planning your work, and then you have a plan to follow, so working your plan. So staying on task with that is going to be the most important task that you'll do every single day, because it starts you off well. Like my simple task of putting this thing together here today. The second one are Tam's simple tips for number 2, which is know what activities that are important to your business success. If you don't know what it is that you are planning on doing, then you're not going to be able to know what those important activities are. It's about understanding your purpose and the benefits of each of those things. Why are you doing it? What's the importance of doing it? What are the benefits, all of the benefits for doing each activity? And the more clear you are around your purpose and your benefits, you're going to be able to clearly know what activities are your priority. What I've found is the purpose and benefits of doing these videos. Obviously, one of the purposes is to make sure that you start seeing what kind of tools that I have that might be of value to you, for you to be able to change some of the ways that you're looking at your business or acting or interacting within your business. Some of the benefits will be benefits to me as well as the benefits to you. Some of the benefits to me are for you to become more familiar with me, so to know me, to decide if you like me, and to learn whether I'm trustworthy to you, to trust what it is I have to say, because it is of value to you. And not everything that I do is about selling you something or making an offer, although there will be an offer later on today that will help you deepen the learning that you've been learning over the last couple of videos as well. Some of the other benefits that we have here is that the benefits for you is to simplify your business. Some of the benefits, again, to me, is that there's a potential for new clients. So when you look at each one of your tools that you're doing and every activity that you're doing, if you know why you're doing it and what the benefit for doing it is, you're going to be much clearer about what activities are you best to be spending your time on. The third tip is to schedule time with yourself so that you can do the thinking on all of the things that are high priority actions necessary to move your business forward. Everything takes time, even processing the plans and the plots that you're trying to sort out. You get ideas, you're creative within your own business. What does that need to look like? And if you don't schedule in enough time to be able to sit down, I put pen to paper and I really take the time to figure out, how do I want this to look like? What do I want my life to look like? How can I best serve my clients? What is the benefit for me doing all of these things? And how can I take this activity and have it be a part of what my dream is for my business? And to be able to serve the most clients that I possibly can and bring that value to you. That is part of my carved out time, which is, it's kind of like thinking time, you know. In the morning, I might take time to do some prayer and meditation, a little bit of reading on something motivational, something either that's inspiring, but also something that might be of value or of benefit to me in my business. Something that I might be able to pass on to you as well. And all of those things might take some churning time in the background to figure out how I can repurpose something so that it's of value to you. So when I just spend time thinking, that already takes some of that thought to one level. But if I put pen to paper, I find that it fleshes it out to some degree, and a lot more meat on those bones. It's the best way I can describe it. So the more meat there is on the bones, the more likely I am to be able to use that information and add to what it is I want my business to be. Okay, so now we're going to go on to tip number 4. Number 4, give all important activities a time slot on your schedule. It's really important that what's really important is that you take the time to know what those things are. And each of the tips before kind of give you an idea. The productivity planner, productivity cycle, these things all help you figure out the importance of each of these things. So if you know it's an important thing, then you're going to make sure you put it on your calendar. Give it the time that it needs to get done. And it's important that you, when you think about the different aspects of your business, every business needs some kind of marketing and sales time as well as service. So each of those will take a certain level of time. Again, depending on your individual business, you'll know how much time that is. It might mean 15 minutes in the morning, just doing, a few quick calls to remind people of appointments coming. That would be important for you. It might need 3 hours to go through a list because you're at a networking event and you want to contact everyone. I'm not sure what it'll be for you, but each of those things is quite valuable to you. And if you don't do those bits, you're not going to have clients. So the value of doing those things is high, and anything that is of high value needs to have a slot. So make sure you're prioritizing things that are really important. Anything to do with either your current customers or prospective customers is one of the highest value things. Even doing this video is a high value thing in my business because it gives you something, so it's of service to you, my potential clients or my clients, depending on who you are, or just people in the industries that I like to serve. So making those phone calls is a very important thing for me. Making this video so that it can be of service to you, so that I can help you in your business, is important to me, as it will be, hopefully, to you based on all of what you've taken. The fact that you're back for the third time, the third video, shows that you're getting some kind of value out of this. So that importance for you might have been to make sure you had time in your day to listen to the 15, 20, 30-minute videos that you've had, because there's not like 500 of them. So that's the 4th tip. And as we move on to the 5th tip, to give each business building activity the time that it needs and deserves, which is kind of a dovetail on to what we were talking about earlier on. You don't need your activities and appointments banging off each other. So if you aren't giving it enough time, what's going to happen is you allotted an hour for an activity because it usually takes about an hour, instead of giving it an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes, to make sure you had a little bit spare time, some breathing room in between. Otherwise, you make an appointment like that, back it up with another appointment that hasn't got the flexibility, and you are now rushing, you're frantic, you're overwhelmed. You set yourself up for an emotional roller coaster ride that can actually be very detrimental for the rest of your day. And for some people, that overwhelm is so big that it wrecks your day, and then you're in the place of self-doubt, and you're not feeling particularly energetic and enthusiastic because you've instantly made yourself feel like you failed, instead of feeling like, wow, I got something done and that felt good, and I can go make myself a cup of tea and get myself set up for the next thing that's on my calendar. So not bumping into those other activities from one to the other is about giving yourself extra time. What if you got your list done early? What if all of those things that you had scheduled to do today got done by noon or 2? What would you do with the spare time? Would you get a few things that you were planning on maybe getting done tomorrow? Would you get something else on a project done that you hadn't anticipated having that extra time? Would you go play with the kids? Would you go meet a friend for tea? you have an opportunity then to do something with the extra time. And the biggest part of it is you can celebrate having accomplished all the things that you had planned on that day and having finished it earlier. So the celebration can be whatever it is that you choose it to be. And I think that's really important, as we talked about in the productivity cycle, celebrating the successes versus feeling frustrated and negative and drawn down and dragged down and weighted down by the things you didn't get accomplished because you didn't give it enough time. Maybe you needed to break it down a little bit more into smaller pieces as well. That's certainly another thing to consider. Tip number 6, keep your to-do lists short. Back when you look at your different projects and what things needed to be done, we talked about in the last video, it's really important for you to look at everything in pieces, you know? If you are looking at just pieces of something, you have kind of a master list of what you want to get done for something, but you're just choosing pieces of things to get done today. Be realistic with your time and be realistic with what you want to get done. You're by far better off to pick 5 things off of the list that will take each thing a little bit further forward and then have it finished by 10 o'clock in the morning and say, okay, I'm going to go pick 5 more things because I feel really good about what I've accomplished so far. And just being able to do that will make you move further forward every day, every week, every month in all of your projects, and you're going to feel so amazing about how your business is growing. Often you can look back over the last week and really see huge jumps. But if you find you look over the last week or the last month and you don't feel like you've moved at all, you probably had too many things on your list all the time to the point of overwhelm, again, feeling overwhelmed, and you weren't able to get off your butt at all. You weren't able to walk into the office. You weren't able to pick up the phone. You weren't able to do whatever it is that's going to take your business forward because the list was too long. It feels great to tick things off, but when you only tick off 5 things on a list of 500 that would take a lifetime to complete, then you're going to feel really weighted by it. You're not going to feel great about what you were able to accomplish. If it was only 5 on the list, you're going to feel amazing. Number 7, if I can get at it, we'll be doing good. There we go. When something's important to do, you need no distraction. And you know how easy it is to be distracted. So putting a do not disturb sign on your office door, especially if you have other people in your house, it could even be a spouse who tends to go, oh, honey, where's this? Or, you know, there's someone at the doorbell, or there's, you know, lots of other activity going on in your household. But how important is your business? The importance that it truly is for you is the importance that you give it. You can say that it's really important. You can say that you want it to move forward, but your actions will speak louder than words. If you say to your spouse or your partner or people that are important to you, yes, I'm a successful entrepreneur, and you look at your bank statement and it says, not so successful, you know, you can't keep claiming success that you're not willing to put first. You know, where's the priority for you? And this do not disturb sign is a really good thing for yourself, and it's also good for other people to start recognizing, other people in your life to recognize that you've made it a priority, you've made it important. If you're doing things like book work or phone calls, you know, don't be dealing with the email at the same time. Stay single focused on the item in front of you. If you are responding to emails that you need to respond to because they're to do with your business and it's in conference with a client or a potential client or a business partner or affiliate or something else, then that's fine. Then don't answer the phone. If you're on the phone, don't listen to the beeps and don't have that little email pop up that says you've now got 55 emails you haven't looked at. Don't let those time guzzlers steal away all of that time from you. It's really important that you are your first priority within your business. You want to be working within your business to make it grow. The other aspect of it is that sometimes you think that those things that are coming into your inbox, we talked a little bit about it before as other people's agendas, but even the things you've signed up for. I have a bunch of people that I've followed, and some I've unfollowed off and on for newsletters and information, and they're all interesting. But if you don't limit the amount of time that you're doing and reading all of that stuff. Maybe it's part of your motivation if it's, or information. Then give it just that amount of time and don't come back to it during your work hours. If you slotted to work for 3 hours, working isn't reading those things. Working is about how do you move your business forward. So make sure you look at it and put it in the right perspective. And if you have too many things to get to and you start finding yourself saving all of them, and you've now got 33 newsletters to read, it's a good chance you probably need to filter out some of them and unsubscribe, at least for a period of time until you have more time to do that kind of thing. So it's something to consider. Okay? And before we move on to the next thing, I've got some other things I want to talk to you about. Okay. So before I finish off with the final 3 steps, I'd like to fill you in on the offer that I was mentioning earlier on. What it is it's a Work Smart, Earn More program home study. So it's something you can do at your own pace when you're ready, however much time you want to give it a half hour a day, sit down and work through it and implement things as you go along. After the time that you've spent with me here, implementing new things, getting new ideas or new ways of looking at things and applying things, hopefully you're ready for digging a little bit deeper. And that's what this home study system is for. It's for the benefit of being able to take where you are now and take another big step forward in your business. Everything is about simplification. It's about creating efficiency and effectiveness in your business, and to do it in a simple manner that it's not all about complexity, not about taking a lot of time. And I think the most efficient people are the most lazy or have the most things to do. It's either one or the other. I tend to be on the lazier side, so I like to go play. And because I like to go play, I know I need to get things done in a really fast, effective way. So that's why I've created this kind of a system. It's something that I've been doing for a really long time. People who've been, used to seeing me know that I worked in a business for myself for 20 years, and it was Mary Kay Cosmetics, and I was a sales director, so I helped other people start their businesses. I helped them layer it on top of other things. Usually a family and often another full-time job, children, husbands, running a household. All these things take a lot of time. And if you happen to be a woman out there, you know what I'm talking about. So being able to do something from home as a business is a great challenge because you're really trying to filter it in around everything else at the same time. So hopefully you've taken a lot of value out of the last couple of videos and continue on with today's as well. So as another way of taking it another step forward, this system that I've created has 5 different modules in them. And each of the modules has an MP3 that'll run anywhere between about a half an hour and 45 minutes. There'll be a transcript for it. So if you're a reader or you want to take it along, of course, MP3s, you can load them on your phones or on your computers or whatever and listen to them at your own pace. And you can re-listen to them because you're going to pick different things to implement as you go along. And for me, I always pick one thing at a time and get that working, and then add something else and get that working. And it finds it a lot easier to move forward in baby steps. Back to that list of 5 things. Don't try and implement everything all at once, because then you'll get frustrated, overwhelmed, and then you won't do anything. And because I believe in taking baby steps forward, those steps, you can take a lot of baby steps and run the mile. You can get a mile along the way. It doesn't matter how big the steps are. So take your time to do that. There's also worksheets that will have you being very clear about every aspect of what it is that I'm trying to help you move along in your business. So we're going to start off first I'm going to say to you, this system seems like something that could be quite expensive, and I want you to know that it's not. It could be something that you might find out there for thousands of dollars, and that is not what it is that I'm going to be selling it to you for. As a matter of fact, for less than half of that. So we'll start off by explaining what you're going to be getting in each of the modules so that you have an idea. And you may find that some of these areas you're great at, which is why I marketed it at a really reasonable price point, because I want everybody, even if there's only 1 or 2 of these 5 areas that you need help with, you'll still feel like you got huge value, even if you're only using bits and pieces of it at this particular time. So module 1 is getting your goals met, and that is all around being really clear about what your vision is, what it is that you want your life to be. For a lot of people, it's all about goal setting, and as goals tend to give me that, back off kind of feel, but vision and thinking about goals as a signpost or as steps towards the vision, it's another way of looking at it. And you'll find that everything that I've talked about goals in the past is all around that way. It's about what your vision is and how do you get drawn towards it, as opposed to how do you chip away at something, which always feels like so much more work. What you'll do is get clear around your vision. You'll know what it is that you want in your life and in your business. And for some of you, you're very clear around these things, so you'll know what I'm talking about. Clarify where you are so that you can get some kind of a clue about from a starting point and what is it going to take to get to the end point. Where do you want your business to be in the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years? And with that, you're going to learn how to accelerate that action plan. How do you take it now and really move quickly from here to where it is that you want it to be? I think that's really key and important that you know. Well, it's back to planning again, which we've talked about a lot, and it's about really working around those things. But that's after you get really clear around what that end vision is for yourself and in your business. So the second module is around clearing the clutter. It's around getting rid of all of the excess stuff that's in your physical space, but also in your head, the things that take up your time and your energy and your mental space that keep you from being able to be creative. It impacts your creative process, both the stuff that's piled up on your desk, but also the stuff that's running around in your head that you haven't implemented, put down on paper, found a way to capture it so that you can develop it more in the future. Removing any of those things, you're going to find is going to eliminate a lot of the overwhelming feelings that you have and the frustration that keeps you from feeling free to move forward with everything else. And with that freedom becomes an opportunity for clarity, and that clarity allows you to make really clear decisions in your life. And you make them easily and simply. There's not a back and a forth and a tug of war with which way should you go, what decision you should make. You find that decisions don't even feel like you're making decisions anymore. Everything is just the next step, and you just keep moving very simply and easily forward towards that vision that you're having or that you've decided and that you're building towards. The third step is around systems. It's around systemizing all of the different parts of your business. The more systems that you have, for as simple as what do you deal with your emails, how do you deal with your mail that comes in your door, how do you deal with phone calls, how do you process your clients, everything can be a system. And what you'll find is that when you create systems that really work, it simplifies your work. And when it simplifies it, makes it faster, much easier to get things done. So faster, easier, and a lot more fun because you're not being bogged down by things that are complicated and you feel like you're starting from scratch over and over and over and over again. Systems make it easy to get started because you already know, even the system of using a plan sheet every day is a way of getting started. You know exactly what it is that you're going to be doing. So it's what's next. Tick that off. What's next? Tick that off. It simplifies everything and you always feel really good about what it is that you're doing because you feel accomplished all the time. And I know what it feels like not to feel accomplished, to have those long lists, to not feel like you're getting it all together, to feel like now I got it all together, but it's all in a big pile. Now what do I do with it? So now that pile becomes the overwhelming thing that keeps you from moving forward. So how do you systemize things in such a way that you never end up with piles? And I think that's, well, okay, piles of paper. All right, so the next module is about prioritizing your productivity. How do you know what gets done first, what is important, what's not important? There seem to be so many things to do in your day, and how do you juggle, your life piles of information, lists of things to do, and amalgamate it in with the lists of things you want to get done in your business. So being important as to what's important to you comes down to understanding what your priorities are and living those priorities. When you're at work when you want to be at work and you're at home when you want to be at home, there's no guilt involved. you're not feeling like you should be somewhere else. And nobody should be shoulding all over themselves. It takes away physical energy. It takes away your time. It clutters up your head. It just takes everything and puts everything in this big old pile. And the pile, whether it's physical or mental, makes no difference. You will finally sort out where to put all of that time and energy so that things are very efficient and you're the most effective at your job. You'll become a master at prioritizing. And when I work with my clients one-on-one, this is the area that we tend to work on a great deal at the beginning, is how do you actually figure out this so that it becomes innate? It becomes something that's just natural to know, what do you do first? What do you do next? So your activities then become so easily sorted out that you become a master at all of your time and your energy. And the fifth module, which is as important as all of the other ones, but if you don't have everything else kind of working along in a really nice, smooth way, you're going to have a really hard time working on your client prospecting, anything to do with claiming your clients. Creating incredible relationships through a system to connect and build your customer base. It's about relationships. I don't know about you, but for me, the relationship I have with people can be a relationship with somebody at the grocery store who smiles and connects in a really nice, warm way. And even if they aren't, I am. So how do you take that and use that aspect of it and do all of the things in a real systematic way when it comes to building relationships with potential clients? As simple as even this video is partially on the ladder or the step of building a relationship with you so that you trust that I have your best interests at heart. It's not all about selling. It's not all about how do I build my business to some skyscraper. If I'm not true to myself, and true to myself is to be of service to others, then you're not going to connect with me. And I'm not going to be able to connect with you if I don't know what it is that you need. And these are the things that my clients have been telling me over and over and over and over and over again. And some of you have been telling me as well by filling in the comments in the past couple of videos as well, as sending me, dropping me lines and emails saying, the value and the benefits that they're getting from all of these things. So both in the sense of building the trust within the relationship, which is highly important, but sometimes because you're able to build that trust, you're able to help others make decisions as well. So the easier it is for you to make decisions, people automatically, you look at your husband, your spouses, your wives, your children, your friends, and you'll find that they're even making decisions easier because you found a better way to use those things. It's hard to keep this stuff to yourself. And the more I help other people be more clear, more decisive, more energetic and enthusiastic because of what it is that they're doing in their business, the better it is for everybody. And I think that each of us reaching other people has a huge impact globally. And I truly believe that everyone has a gift and that gift needs to be shared. Otherwise, there's no value in a gift you hold tightly to yourself. The value is in being able to share it. And how you share it is up to you, but share it, please, because each of you is an amazing human being, and I know you have lots to offer others. So with that, I bet you there's other things that you want to know, and key for everyone about this point is you want to know, so what's the investment for me? How much is this going to cost? I want to know right now, don't you? So with the Work Smart, Earn More program, as I was developing it, because there was so much content and so much information in there, my original price was going to be $9.97. And with a lot of thought around it, I decided that there was value in having a really good price point so that more people who really wanted to change their businesses would not find price as a stumbling block to being able to move forward and take advantage of these things. So with that being said, I thought, half that price would be a no-brainer for most people. But because this is a premier launch and a premier product, the very first time I've run an at-home study product, I wanted to make sure that you would get the massive value. You've taken the time to show up for the videos. You're obviously taking notes. I've heard from many of you in how you've already been implementing many of the things that we've been talking about, using the planning sheet, the daily planning sheet, using the productivity cycle so that you're getting full advantage of the items that I'm trying to set up for you so that you can simplify your businesses. So with that being said, I wanted to make sure that more of you had an opportunity to dig deeper and actually take your businesses to another level. And there's no reason why you can't benefit greatly from doing this. It's worth more than $1,000, but I want you to be able to say, there's not even a question. I trust this person. I hear what she has to say. She's given so much value for free that there's got to be something of some kind of value inside there. If this is what she's going to give me for free, what could possibly be in there? And believe me, you're going to be thrilled with it. Thrilled to the point where if after you've had it for 30 days or within 30 days, you're not satisfied with what you've got for your investment, please send me an email and I'd be happy to give you back your investment. I would just be very surprised if any of you did that. I would also like you to consider your friends. You probably have many friends who may not be on my list, that if in fact they get on my list and you give them these videos for them to watch and to take advantage of, and they purchase it after you've purchased it, you must purchase it, I will give you $50 off up to the maximum of the amount that you pay for the product. And that will last as long as this promotion lasts. So you'll have a few days from today to have purchased it at this limited price to be able to get that value back. So if you have 2 friends who purchase it after you do that have marked down that you are who the referral was, you'll get $100 off. If you have 6 friends, you'll be getting it for free. So I would be delighted for that to happen. So what I want to tell you now about is the price, because you've asked already and you're wondering about the investment. So the investment is a screaming good deal at $297. I want you to take this product, get huge value from it, and you'll make that money back in a blink of an eye by doing what's suggested in the program, because the program is set up to make your life easier and to take the steps that you need to take to make money, to make your business work. The gifts that you have, you need to share. And the only way to do that is to do all of the things that will make you productive and take you to another level of success that you have. So what I'd like to tell you about then is some of the benefits. You're going to find that your beliefs system is going to change. So any potential self-limiting beliefs that you've had in the past will lift, because you're going to see everything as a possibility. Everything is going to seem amazing when you get more new clients than you've ever had before. You're going to find that everything that you do is much more efficient. You will have simplified your business down to things. Instead of taking 25 hours to do something, you're going to find it takes 15 hours to do it. Instead of working a 40-hour work week to make the kind of money you're making now, maybe you're only doing it in 25 or 30 hours. So everything is going to make you so much more effective because of your efficiencies. So you're going to simply become more efficient, and your efficiencies will make you more effective. You'll be able to do everything so much better. So what that's going to do is that's going to save you time and energy that you can be spending on something else, which is really important, that you get to choose how you're spending your time and energy, because you're able to do everything so much more quicker. And because of that speed, you're going to find that your day goes by quicker, you've started off smoother, everything finishes off earlier, you're not dragging yourself through the day. You'll feel so much more celebrated at the end of your day because of that efficiency, and because you're feeling so effective, you're going to feel really confident about your job and about your business, and that confidence spills over in other areas of your life. So you're also going to become more clear and focused. Clarity is the thing that helps drive you forward. If you're not clear about what it is you're doing, you're not clear about why you're doing it, back to benefits and purposes, you're not going to find yourself easily moving through your day. You're going to find yourself, again, bouncing all over the place because you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing. When you've got that kind of clarity of focus, you're very attentive to whatever the task is that's in front of you. So because of that attentiveness and that clarity that you've got going on, you'll get it done much faster, because you're so hyper-focused on what that is. So your efficiency happens within that space, and your effectiveness happens in that space. You can be efficiently doing the wrong thing. It's not going to get you anywhere. So you want to be efficiently doing the right stuff. And with that, you're going to know what's your next thing on your, on your project because of all that clarity. You're going to be able to eliminate any kind of overwhelming feelings and frustration. And how would that feel? to always be feeling in a positive, enthusiastic, energetic place where you never have that feeling of oppressed heaviness and weight or confusion where you feel like you're spinning throughout your day. It's going to be just so, you're going to feel lighter because of that. You're going to feel so amazing with that. And you're going to get yourself into action faster because you're finishing one project faster, you're completing things faster, you're more accurate, you're not making the same mistakes. Because of that, again, you're doing everything quicker. Just the fact that you'll be more accurate with every aspect of your job that you're doing. And this is only a few of the benefits that I know that you'll reap from following along with what's within the program. And the at-home study allows you to do it at your own pace. At, whether you do a module a day, a module a week, take the time to do it. But at the value of $297, that's an incredible offer. However much time it takes you to do it, you can download those MP3s, listen to it on the way in and out the door. You can listen to it on the treadmill when you're walking the dog. That's one of my favorite places to do it, walking the dog out there in nature. But go to Work Smart, Earn More, WorkSmart-earnmore.com, and you'll get all of the details that I've talked to you about, and it'll explain the date that you have to have this done by and the referral page to be able to send that off to other people so that they can benefit from the same thing that you have today as well. So let's go on to the last 3 tips so that you can benefit from them as well, because I'm thrilled to be able to make sure that you're taking these steps forward. All right, so now we're into tip number 8. Tip number 8 is about giving yourself time, extra time to do what you need to do. So about 5 minutes before any call, you want to take the time, a call or even a task, take the time to figure out what it is that you want to achieve from having done that call or that task. So what kind of an outcome do you want to have? If you're clear about the outcome, somehow everything is drawn to you, the conversation you need to have, what questions you need to ask, what information you need to pass on. But what that does is that helps start you off with information that will help you with creating templates. Again, back to systems that you're dealing with. And also at the end of that call or that task, check out, did I get the result I was looking for? Am I receiving, have I figured out the best way to do or to deal with this particular situation? And by doing that, what you found is that you can now sort out how you'll deal with that same situation another time. So this is how you start out with systems and structures for yourself. Is by knowing, what do I want to achieve? Did I achieve what I wanted to? What could be tweaked or altered or changed so that I could have the result I was looking for? Or maybe the result isn't possible with this particular way and I need to look at something completely different, or I have to revamp whatever that task is. So that becomes really important for you to be able to do. It will save you a lot of time. The more templates you have, the more systems that you have in doing every aspect of your business or every activity you need to do, it's going to save you an awful lot of time in the long run. Tip number 9 is about social media. Don't we love social media? You want it to have specific time slots if it's something that you're using for your business, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, YouTube, creating videos, all of these things. If you don't give it a specific time on your calendar, what's going to happen is it's going to eat up time. Now, I don't know about you, but I've said, let me just spend 5 minutes on this. And then you've lost like half a day because it sends you off on some tangent, or you start connecting with people and it's just so much fun to play. And what ends up happening is your time flies away. Your time flies away, and with it, your dreams. I can't tell you how many days, weeks, months maybe, that I've delayed my own dreams by getting hung up and lost in that kind of social media. So it's important that you look at your time in a really effective way, look at the activities and the actions that you're doing in an effective way, and take all of that play time and put it into your off time, not in your work time. And what you might find is there's a lot of off time that you've got other things slotted for, so you'll be spending less time as a whole. They actually figure that YouTube has now pretty much replaced one out of 5 people are spending more time on YouTube than watching television. So YouTube, it's so easy for it to eat up your time. I don't know about you, but I love TED Talks. There's always something new and interesting I can learn on that. And the last, but not the least, is number 10, which is the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. And it was originally invented by, obviously, a guy named Pareto from Italy. And it was to do with population and wealth. It's, of course, being used now more and more with management and with entrepreneurs because they've done a lot of studies with it. You can do all kinds of researches on this as well. But 80% of your income will come from 20% of your activity. Now, that can be very frustrating when you think, if I worked 40 hours this week and only, what would be 20% of that? 1.5 hours? I don't know, some ridiculous amount. Anyway, out of 40 hours, you're going to find that so few of those hours actually created you income that you want to make sure that you're getting full value of that time. So you want to be very mindful of the choice that you're making with how you're spending your time. So 80% of a company's profit comes from 20% of its customers. So again, when you're looking at your customers, how much time are you spending with the people in business hours that you maybe like, but that aren't necessarily doing a lot for you? 80% of the company's complaints also come from 20% of its customers. So again, making sure you're on top of those things. 80% of a company's profits come from 20% of the time that the staff spends. So if you have people who are making phone calls, again, only 20% of their time is actually working in a really strong way that's going to benefit you in any way, shape, or form. 80% of the company's sales will come from 20% of its products. So if you sell a product, what are your top 20% of your products? And you want to make sure that those are the things that you're spending time with. Those are, if you are in sales and you carry an inventory, those are the products you're going to carry more of, because it's just more valuable to have your square footage or your shelf space on the products that you're turning more over. And 80% of a company's sales are made by 20% of the sales staff. So 80% of your sales staff, if you are a small business that has a sales staff, are sitting on their thumbs. So it's important for you to know this structure so that you have an idea, how much of your day are you wasting? Are you being very constructive with your time, or are you finding yourself wasting your days away doing things that are not of value to your company or to your business, and certainly not to your bottom line? So that's really important. So you want to make each of your activities be important enough to give up your precious personal time for. You don't want to be giving all that time for nothing. And schedule those important things as the very first thing you want to be getting done in your day. So, I mean, if your day starts at 6, you can't call clients at 6 unless your clients are all up at 6. But you want to make sure that you're organized and ready so that by the time it's okay to call, if calls are your priority, that those things are sitting there for you and that you're able to take care of those things first and quickly, because that's where your value is. Now, I hope you have questions and that you'll jot them down in the comment section below. If you are finding that each of these tips are a lot of different ideas, but there's one or two of them that really strikes you, please jot down on the bottom there, what are the first tips you're going to be using? Also, any other information that we've gone through today, the different modules, if you have questions about any of them, please don't hesitate to jot those down or to send me an email as well, which you can do through my website, Tammy@TammyRowlandCoaching.com. And make sure that you take the time to go to WorkSmart Earn More, WorkSmart-Earn-More.com, and get all of the details. I've got all of them written down there. You can't miss any of it. And make a decision whether you're ready to take a step forward for yourself. And at this investment at $297, it's a steal at this price to make sure that you get the benefits right away and take however much time that it takes for you to get everything into systems, to save yourself a lot of time. The time you spend now will save you days, hours, weeks, months in your future, because you found the best systems to be able to do every aspect of your business. I've been delighted to take the time with you over this last week or so for you to see these videos. And as I said, many of you have already told me the benefits that they have given to you. And bravo, congratulations for those of you who have taken these tips and used them already and seen a difference in your businesses already, or in how you feel about your business or feel about what you're doing within your business. All of that is valuable, and celebrate every aspect of your business that has taken you forward. Thank you so much. Tammy Rowland, creator of the Work Smart, Earn More system. I am delighted and looking forward to getting to know you over the next little while. Have a terrific day and have a successful business. And please live the life you love and love the life you live. And the best way to do that is by sharing your gifts with the world.